Hello, everyone. We are live. Thank you for joining us for the Pastrami Nation podcast. I'm Kevin, your host today, and we have some really cool stuff to talk about, guys. We're going to be talking about some Lightyear. We're going to be going over Miss Marvel, and of course, the show that everyone is talking about right now, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I've
Be a
heard of
great
it.
show. You've heard of it? Good. I'm glad. It's going to be an awesome show. I'm glad you all are joining us. Thank you for watching. Before we get started, though, need to do some introductions, of course. So I'm going to start right here just because it's weird if I don't start with the person sitting right here. This is my son, Elijah. He's a Star Wars expert. He's going to be here to kind of tell us, to kind of join the conversation with us. So welcome, Elijah. Thank you for joining us.
I mean, it's
awkward teenagers. And of course, also joining me, co-founder of Pastrami Nation, Jason Smith. How you doing, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're doing great,
good.
man. We're doing awesome. And of course, this guy, he's an amazing artist. Not only just an amazing artist, but just an amazing toy collector, just freaking godfather of toys, everything.
Just an
Christian,
amazing guy, period.
Just an incredible guy, period.
Yeah.
And you'll notice them both from our Pastrami Nation Break Therapy that we do every other week as well. Christian, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. Doing good.
Awesome.
Good. I'm glad. And of course, today we have a very special. We love it when he's on. Brandon,
Yes.
Brendan Treadway, the host of the Cinemass podcast.
Hey.
Just an awesome guy. Thank you for joining us. We're really excited to have you on, and we're really excited to talk.
Thank you. I love
That's
being
some
here with you
things
guys.
today. Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, let's we do have a giveaway. We are going to be giving a Pastrami Nation sandwich from Apollo Burger at the end of the show. So all you have to do is leave a comment, talk to us, join in the conversation, let us know what you think, let us know what you thought of any of our topics today. And yeah, join the conversation. We'd like to hear from you guys. So it's been a crazy couple weeks for movies and TV. There's been some really, really great things released. I want to start by talking about Lightyear. So Jason and Christian, you both haven't had a chance to see it yet. I know you guys want to.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
This weekend, maybe.
Yeah.
What's that?
This weekend, maybe. If
Awesome.
That's planned, but you know what happens to plans when we make them.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
dude. Barely
All
ever
the
works
time.
out. But me and Eli have seen it. Brandon's seen it. So let's start with you, Brandon. What are your overall thoughts on Lightyear?
So I was telling you this before we got started.
Yeah.
If I was to give it a quick review, I would just say it was good. I enjoyed it. Is not what I expected it to be. When it was first announced, I thought we were going to get a certain type of movie. And we got something a lot more akin to, honestly, Top Gun Maverick. And
We did. Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that by any stretch. There were some things in there that caught me by surprise. There's some good surprises in there. But my biggest thought that I had while watching this movie was, how in the heck did Andy, how was this his favorite movie? This thing is like, so the plot itself relies on your understanding of time travel to just the nth degree.
Right.
So I was sitting with my 4-year-old, and she asked me a question about the plot. Dad, what's going on? And I was like, I'm gonna have to just tell you when you're older, because they're not gonna understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this is Andy's favorite movie, but hey, we all had movies that we love that are a little bit more complex, that as we got older we understood them, but at the time it was all about the pew pew and the bang bang. So
Exactly.
but I will say, animation wise, it's gorgeous. It looks very, very good, very clean. The real winner for the movie for me was Socks the cat.
Easily.
Easily a 5-star movie if it was just Socks the movie. But yeah, so out of 5 I gave it 3, which for me is a good movie.
Yeah, definitely recommend. Robin for Life says Lightyear is a pretty good movie, and I completely agree. I'm on the same in the same boat as you, Brandon. I think I liked it a little bit more. I did feel like the time travel stuff was a little bit complicated, but I felt like they did it in a way where it made sense for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like Interstellar, like, just completely like,
Can you
blow
imagine?
your mind. But I think that there was
Love
some,
is how we hit light speed.
right, exactly. Maybe the science behind it was a little bit complicated, but I thought it was, I know he liked it a lot. I knew my daughter was up to that point. She was, she understood up till a certain point, and then her and her friend went to go do something else, totally different. But I thought Socks is completely the MVP of the movie, like you said, 100%. There's also a really great scene that I thought was hilarious. Not really a spoiler, but the scene with the robot and giving the directions. Remember when he's like,
Yeah.
we go up here, like the navigation guy. Oh yeah. I thought that was fantastic. I thought it was really clever and funny. The animation, like you said, was stunning. Like the photorealism, how far Pixar has come is just mind blowing. Like,
Yeah.
you watch Toy Story 1 and then watch this movie, and obviously it's obviously no comparison, but it's just this huge, this massive, just how hard those guys work at these things just blows my mind. And like, kind of like you said, though, I do understand why Andy wanted why this became his favorite movie, but I'm still not fully convinced that this was his favorite movie at that age, because it did there was a lot going on story wise. And, but that aside, I thought it was, that was good. I probably
I'm just surprised that he wanted a Buzz Lightyear and not a Socks. You know what I mean?
Not a Socks. I even thought Kiki Palmer's character. I totally blank on the name. Do you remember her name? I feel horrible.
Izzy?
About this. Izzy, yeah. I thought she was pretty great. Taika Waititi. I think he's a great voice actor.
He's always funny.
He's fun. We had fun with it. It's one of those. It's Pixar, but it's not like that deep Pixar. There's one moment in the movie where you're gonna watch and I looked at him during it and I was like, yeah, it's Pixar. Like, you have to.
That's the Pixar shot.
That's the Pixar shot. But
I will say,
in the opening too.
Yeah. Did you guys stick around through the credits?
We did.
Yes.
We did.
Okay. Yeah. I always Google it. It always cracks me up when I see people sit through credits just like for everything. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, y'all can Google whether or not there's something at the end of this.
That's
I'll say that they trick you on this one because there's 3 end credit sequences. Wow. And the third one takes place at the very, very past the Disney, past the Pixar thing. You think it's completely over, and then the third scene pops up. So
right.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So for those who, my buddy, what I saw, I was like, I know there's 3 of them. He was like, are you sure? Because this seems like it's over, and then it happened. So,
absolutely.
Anyway,
super far in there, but yeah, overall, I think in the whole scheme of thing, it's super. It's like mid Pixar. Like I wouldn't give it a it's not the worst by far, the worst, or it's not the best either. My personal opinion.
Not Soul.
Yeah, it's not going to make you think about life and everything like Soul, but no, overall, I'd probably give it like a 3.5. Not far from you, Brandon, but just a little bit. I think I liked it a little better, but that's okay. And that's I thought it was pretty good.
Cool.
Enjoyed it. So yeah, go watch Lightyear. And there's a conversation going on about it right now, flopping or whatever, but it really wasn't a flop. It opened at 50 million, which is on par with Pixar movies openings. They just assumed it was going to be more because it's tied to this Toy Story universe. But
just look at what other movies were out though, like that it had to compete with.
Yeah, it lost against dinosaurs.
Yeah, and Top Gun was probably still.
Top Gun was number 3. So we went Jurassic Park. Or Jurassic World Dominion, Buzz Lightyear, and then Top Gun Maverick. So Top Gun Maverick was in third place. Just tells you how well that's still doing.
Crazy.
Yeah, I heard it's gonna this week. Hopefully, it might beat Doctor Strange for highest grossing movie of the year.
I think it already did.
It did.
They're at 900 million as of earlier this week.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So,
cool.
But yeah, so I want to have this Disney Plus Pixar conversation, but I feel like that'll take too long, so let's move on. Speaking of Disney Plus, because Pixar movies have been going to Disney Plus, as opposed to theaters, and why this movie to put to theaters, I think I know why, but anyways, let's talk more about Disney Plus and 2 shows that have been on Disney Plus. One just ended. One is still going on. One's in episode 3. Of course, that's Miss Marvel. I wanted to talk about Miss Marvel because I absolutely love it. I think it's a lot of fun, and to me, it's probably one of the best things that Disney Plus MCU has done so far. What do you guys think about it? What are your guys' thoughts so far on Captain Marvel? We're at episode 3. Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. I'm sorry.
So when you said this is one of the best things that Disney's done on Disney Plus, were you talking across everything? Are you talking MCU?
I'm sorry.
MCU.
MCU. Sorry.
So the best MCU series on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My brain's a little bit crazy right now.
I hate to do this, but I 100% agree. This series rules. I love it.
Right?
It is creative. It is fun. It knows what it is, and it wears its heart on its sleeve through every single minute. Kamala Khan is perfectly cast. She is, I can't remember her name. I can't remember anyone's name in the actors for this series, but she is excellent. She's so like welcoming, she's so easy to root for. She feels so real. I've got cousins her age, and that's what teenagers are like right now. And I love this show. I think it's I'll take this any day over Moon Knight. I'll take this over Captain and the Falcon. I'll take this over WandaVision.
Same.
So yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I'm actually having fun with Marvel in a long time. Actually just digging it and enjoying it and just sitting in for the ride and not feeling like there's this overburdening, like whether it's too dark or too there aren't too many very, very dramatic moments. It's just light.
You want to know why that is, Kevin? I'm going to tell you why that is. Because it's not trying to be part of the MCU.
Oh, right. No, exactly. And
all it does is it references the fact that we are in this world, but it's not trying to connect itself to a bunch of other things. We don't have we've got this government agency, the damage control that's involved, but we don't have Captain Marvel showing up. We don't have Hawkeye showing up. We're not trying to desperately connect to all the other characters.
Right.
We're just letting Kamala Khan do her thing in her own corner of New Jersey, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I said it a little bit. Oh, Jason, go for it.
No.
I haven't actually seen it yet.
So man.
I'm hearing nothing but good things about it. So it's Moon Knight set the bar pretty high for me. So I'm hoping it tops that, and from what I hear, it sounds like it just might.
Yeah.
Moon Knight for me was my favorite show on Disney Plus for the MCU so far.
Fair.
Miss Marvel is almost getting to that point. But what would push it over is if on the last episode, at the end of the end credits, we get Miles Morales' Spider-Man logo.
Yeah, he's waiting for the Miles.
I am.
The Miles
Eli, I have a question for you. If you had to rank the Disney Plus MCU shows, top to bottom, how would you rank them so far?
Moon Knight, Miss Marvel,
already
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and was there any others?
Loki.
I don't think the other Loki matter.
Loki.
Oh, Loki goes above WandaVision.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What about you, Christian? You're on board with the series, right?
I love the series. Yeah, I said it last week a little bit. This show is clearly not the son of a piece of mother every time. Can you guys hear me still, or you can?
You can actually still hear me.
Okay, you can.
You're not
I did
completely
mention I know this show is not. It's not for me. I know this show is designed for a different audience, but I absolutely adore this show. I totally agree. The casting of Iman Vellani is her name, I think.
Yeah.
She's great. Fantastic. So much fun. I was kind of concerned because, I think pop culture wise and in the bigger scheme of things, I think her bigger introduction to the general public was the atrocious Avengers game that came out a year ago or something.
I remember that.
Yeah, that game sucked ass. I'm sorry, but it was such a bad game. and for like such a huge property, I can't believe they dropped the ball. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
she was like
she's
a
like the
They
main
got her
character.
origins
She's like the
right,
main
though.
protagonist in that game.
yeah, she really
Yeah.
is, and you kind of like follow her, and you're introduced to all the Avengers through her, and
Mhm.
like they kind of like don't really, they just treat her as the kid, but you kind of don't really get to do the whole Miss Marvel thing with her, and like it doesn't really even touch on like her culture or anything. And
Mm.
this, like, I love all of the like
Yeah.
the cultural stuff, and like I feel like I'm also like just learning about you know, like Pakistani culture, and like it's a lot of
Muslim
fun.
culture. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's so much fun. Like the whole cast. I also love Bruno. Like that kid, man, so much fun. Like their whole relationship too.
Yeah.
He's totally like
You mean
ducking.
Brian, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah. Like I swear he
No,
gets
yeah.
my name wrong on purpose. Yeah. It's fantastic. So I'm super happy for it. I'm looking forward to every episode. So I don't know how long the series is either. I don't know how many.
I
Is
was
it
wondering
9?
that too.
Yeah,
I think it's only 7 or 8, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't been.
I
able to
feel like
find
most
them.
of them have been around 8 episodes.
Yeah.
This one,
So-
I could definitely watch. Yeah, just keep on going, man. Like I hope they, I know unfortunately it was the lowest. It's been the lowest watched MCU show on Disney
That's
Plus.
tough.
I
too.
don't know. I understand it, but
I
I don't
understand
want
why.
Yeah, I don't want to say my reasons out loud. But it's a whole other thing. But it's such a good show. Like you're missing out if you're not watching it. I think everyone needs to at least give it a chance, give it a couple episodes, and you're just gonna have a lot of fun. Like just go watch it, just enjoy, man. Like it's just go for the ride.
I do find it interesting that Disney Plus decided to drop it like and overlap it with Obi-Wan, because like
That was very strange.
we do midnight. So like we're up to like 2 a.m.
Mhm.
watching like Obi-Wan and then watching Miss Marvel.
Right.
Oh man, I wish I could do that, but I have to wait for this guy.
I'm in bed by like 9. You know that. I'm old, man.
One of
But yeah,
these days, I'll get you to do it.
one of these days. But yeah, I don't want to spoil it for Jason here, but I thought a lot of the revelations in the last episode were really, really well done. In episode 3, kind of. See, I have a stack of Miss Marvel comics that I got from the library that I still haven't had the chance to read any of them yet.
Oh, have you
Okay.
have you never read any Miss Marvel?
I have not. It's one of those. She's one of those characters that I've always been fascinated with. I love her backstory. I've read so much about her, and I know a lot about her through like animated series appearances and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I never read the books, and that's one of
I
my,
feel kind of privileged because I got to. So when I was in college, that's when I was at my absolute peak of comic reading.
right.
And I started out first issue of Miss Marvel
Same.
and read her whole run all the way through Secret
Nice.
Wars. And Secret Wars is when I fell out of comics. I was like, okay, y'all are losing me now. But yeah, it was that series was so awesome. It was so much fun.
Mhm.
And she's such a, I mean, even on the page, she is the same in this show. Like she's so lovable, and that's I almost said Soups, different series. The kind of super fan that she is of the Avengers,
And I love that.
is, I mean, it makes her such a kind of like vessel for the audience, right? Because like we're watching these shows because we are all super fans of
Mhm.
these characters. And so for us to get to watch a super fan become
Exactly.
a superhero,
Yeah.
that's what made that's one piece that made the book so appealing, one of many things that made the book so appealing, and now makes that show so appealing.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm really digging about the show is like she is like a 16-year-old girl,
Yeah, I think she's like
but-
a sophomore.
Yeah, but like I relate to her. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like in a way, like that aspect of it. Like I'm
Yeah.
a fan of these things. Like I love, being misunderstood. And it's kind of the whole Peter Parker thing, right? Like
Yeah.
just being that teenager.
Yeah.
And
It's
Yeah.
funny that you mentioned that because, and I know Christian said like, I'm not like the target demographic for this show.
same.
But this show to me, and I know some people that popped in and they're like, oh, this feels like a Disney Channel like series. And so I'm out. And I think that you're being short-sighted. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, like
Easily.
this show has the exact same tone as Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes,
so to me,
it does.
it's pretty hypocritical to be like Spider-Man Homecoming so good, but this one feels like a Disney show.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I'm like, what's the difference? Like, they feel so similar to me, and one of them actually felt a little more real to me, Miss Marvel. And so it's awesome. Check it out.
Yeah, it is great. And I'm meaning to read the books. G. Willow Wilson, who kind of relaunched the whole Miss Marvel thing with Kamala. I've read some of her like actual novels, and she's an amazing writer. And there's this one book that I read of her. Sorry, not to go off on a tangent, but she wrote this book called Alif the Unseen, which is just a really, really fun like YA novel, kind of like a modern day version of 1001 Nights. Just a really cool like cyberpunk kind of thriller that she wrote. Right, I think at the same time she was doing Miss Marvel. So check that out if you guys haven't seen it. I know she's a great writer. So I'm looking forward to reading the comics. Yeah,
Very
definitely.
nice.
Can I say something real fast?
Sure.
Back to what Brian was saying about people comparing Miss Marvel with the Disney Channel show. If I ever heard that and I was just like walking around, I would go up to them, be like, "I'm sorry, but have you seen a Disney Channel show?"
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, it's true. I mean, you don't lie, you watch them still.
Not really.
Yeah. I will say that if I was going to compare it to a Disney Channel show, I think that it connects it feels like the best parts of Lizzie McGuire to me.
Yeah,
like
easily.
Makes sense.
Like the best parts of it I think are there. I love the way that, and I know we're probably running out of time on Ms. Marvel here, but I love the direction and the creativity that they kind of like. For one, it's great to see a MCU anything actually have color and not look like wet concrete. And I love that the way that like when they're texting each other, it's playing out in like the world around them.
Yeah.
So like the crosswalk has the text, or the stars, or the neon signs in like the Chinese restaurant. It's awesome. I think that's super.
But
super
one
cool.
thing it reminded me of too a lot was like it reminded me of things like it even reminded me of Spider-Verse in a way, Into the Spider-Verse and Mitchell's versus the Machines, just like how it's just very kind of sporadic and weird and very colorful and very just kind of and even the humor in it is kind of like that.
Let's see. Christian, you've read Miss Marvel, right?
I probably read like the first 6 to 10 issues, like the very beginning of it.
What are your thoughts on, and you've played the game too, so what are your thoughts on the way that they've handled her powers so far, based on your pre-existing knowledge?
So I do know that like as we move along further into the story, especially in like specifically in the comics, like her powers directly have a lot to do with like her character growth, and like there's stuff that's going to happen. And it's interesting because I know that they're doing this to kind of tie her more into like the cosmic side of the MCU. Because they're doing the Marvels movie and like, at first I was like, are they trying to differentiate like her and, Reed Richards, or are they trying to like tie it into, but they came out and they said that they're trying to, I also think they're not going to be doing the Inhumans. I think they're trying not to do Terrigen Mist and like do all of this. So I think they're trying to separate this. I do like that it's kind of directly tied to her family and her culture, and I think like that's really cool.
Yeah, I think that's the strongest element.
Yeah, and I think that's like a really, really smart, clever way to go, because it just makes it feel that much more cohesive. It also plays on the themes that we've seen so far, which is being yourself against. And not always against, but like there's the being yourself and who you are, but there's also the family expectations and honoring your heritage that are they work together, but sometimes they're also at odds, which has been really, really cool in the series so far, and is playing out in really interesting ways, which I think by the end will tie into her powers in some way. But
absolutely, no, definitely. So if you guys haven't checked out Miss Marvel, check it out. It's on Disney Plus up to episode 3 now. It premieres every Wednesday.
So much fun.
Now, how do you guys feel about like how most of them have been like 7, 8 episode seasons? Like, would you guys prefer a 10, 12 episode season, or I kind of prefer the 8 episodes so you
Same.
don't get that like filler episode, you know?
Same. I'm in that boat too. I think it's like Obi-Wan. We're going to talk about what, 6 episodes,
Yep.
and I felt like
7,
it
I believe.
accomplished
Was it 6 or 7?
6,
was it
yeah.
6?
Six,
Yeah,
yeah.
I felt like it accomplished everything it needed to say without having too much filler stuff in it.
Yes.
But I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute. But what do you guys think? Are you guys down with the?
Yeah, I mean, my belief has always been make your movie as long as it needs to be, your show as long as it needs to be to tell the story that you set out to tell.
Right.
If you have a filler episode in there, which many shows are wont to do, right?
Yeah.
I always will forgive a filler episode if there's something in there that pushes the story along for someone. But I think I prefer an 8 episode season, just because I don't watch a lot of TV. I prefer watching movies, and watching 8 hours of something or on Disney Plus would be more like, let's see, 8 times 40 minutes,
Yeah.
or 32 depending on
You
the
gotta-
week. Like, it's a little bit different,
minutes of
but
credits.
that's kind of my thought.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just some shout outs real quick. Arturo, what's up, man? Sean Tracy says, how's it going, guys? It's going good. Jason Bean, hey, dude, what's going on? How's it going? Love seeing Eli on the podcast right here. Nolan, howdy. Howdy, hi.
At least he can be in the chat.
Right, he can be. Jason says he hasn't gotten around to watching Miss Marvel. Try it this weekend. Give it a shot. It's really good. Johnny,
Yes.
what's up? I'm not exactly sure what Johnny says same to, but I'm assuming he's talking. Oh, I'm assuming he said that he hasn't seen it yet. So
He said Miss
I'll check it
Marvel's
out.
the best show from the MCU.
Yeah,
So he was
of course,
saying same
of
too.
course, it is. And Pablo says, "What's up, guys?"
What's up, guys? Thanks for
yeah.
joining us.
So thank you
for
guys
Jason
checking
there,
us
you
out.
know, embrace, and for anyone starting it
Mhm.
off, I think that you need to embrace Miss Marvel for what it is.
Absolutely.
And that's often said about very garbage content. But what I'm saying by this is there's a specific tone that this is trying to achieve that is different from other MCU stuff. Embrace that and you will find a real treat.
Absolutely, definitely, completely agree with that. So Disney Plus, let's talk about our big topic of the night. Let's talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
Apparently, it's connected to something called Star Wars. Star
It's a
Wars.
little
Or something.
Boo,
Small
Star
little
Wars
franchise.
sucks.
Star Wars, Star Trek. I don't know. It's one of those things.
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
You said a bad word on live
I
TV.
did.
That
yeah,
one is
there
so
you go.
good. One right up there.
Oh, that's what she's
Hey,
from.
nice.
Anyways, so let's talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. The finale was premiered yesterday. We all had a chance to watch it. For anyone watching, there will be spoilers ahead. We're gonna talk
Yeah, we're gonna get right
all
into
of it. We're gonna
spoilers.
dig in. We're gonna talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and hopefully, I think we should give some grades at the end. See what we all thought of this season, or see if how we felt about Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that'll be, of course, out of 5. So, all right. Who wants to get started? Who is willing to give their thoughts?
I
don't think
will
I have to
happily
give
go
thoughts.
first.
Go
I'm
ahead, Christian.
very excited to hear what you guys have to say about this. I will say this last episode, because we kind of did a mid-season thing where we talked about this. I think
We did.
episode 4. I don't quite remember. But you guys kind of know my thoughts. I feel like I always have like the unpopular opinion about a certain person. But I kind of really like the ending. Like this last episode was gorgeous. I technically watched it twice, and on the second time watching it, I kind of like had tears in my eyes at a very specific point. And I think you guys there's multiple parts I think that would probably bring the emotion out of us. But yeah, man, I think there was like that one moment that we were all kind of waiting for. And it was like really, really well done. I think they did some stuff that was just like, wow, that was really cool. Because let's just get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah.
It was obviously it's the Obi-Wan and Vader fight.
Mhm.
Like the very end of that fight is like gorgeous. I kind of feel like it was cool. They were like cutting into it with like Reva's story. Which I was less interested in. I mean, I'm not saying that it's clearly the B story, and like that we're finally getting to like the meat and potatoes of like what we came to the show for. But that aspect was really cool. I like it was kind of the back and forth between them. I was like, we only really got like Hayden's face like once in the show, and then I'm like really like we brought him back for like that flashback because we really didn't need him in the Vader suit, but like man, did we need him for
we
that?
saw his face twice.
Yeah,
the flashback, and then
that's what you just said.
Right. The flashback, and then there was like this one where I think Obi-Wan starts tripping out in the desert.
Yeah.
And sees him at a distance.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It reminded me of Passion of the Christ when
yeah, I know.
See the devil walking around.
Exactly. But yeah, I thought it was really good, and like the way that like Ewan was reacting to it, and like you see him and like he starts welling up, and I'm like I start welling up, but like there's that line that he says, he's like, you thought that you killed Anakin, and then it's like that cold sweat, like whatever tears I had in my eyes, it was just like
sucked right back up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Really, really well done. I kind of just wish this was a movie. I think this could have been a 2-hour thing, and then start the series after this. I think that would have been cool because ultimately we're kind of at the end, the same exact place we were at the end of episode 3, right? Like it's still kind of stuff has changed, but like I think like we kind of went full circle and like now we're back at it again. So I'm excited to move forward from this point now, like very much so. And I know they're like, oh, we'd love to have a season 2. I know that they're already in like development for season 2. So I'm really excited. But that's my really quick.
Jason, what do you think?
Oh man, like I gotta agree with Christian that Obi-Wan Vader fight was just like the Reva stuff was cool, but like it gets way overshadowed by this fight, and it's just to me that moment when he struck his head and you see Anakin's face through there, and that explains like if you backtrack to Return of the Jedi when he unmasked him and he has that scar on his head. Because he didn't have that when he burned up on, was it Mustafar on episode 3?
Mustafar's moon.
Yeah, so that's where like he got that cut was from Obi-Wan. So that makes it ties it more together, And it was just like, wow. And like Christian said, when he was like, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did. Like I was like, damn, wow, this just happened. Like that to me, that was I don't know. I want to say that's up there in my top like 3 lightsaber battles too,
Yeah, it was really cool. It was an awesome.
We've never seen Vader move like like how we're seeing him in. Because remember, if you go back to like what A New Hope, it's like wow, he must have got really lethargic there. And then
again,
the last episode, we're like, go ahead. What was that?
If we're going back to that time point, then he might not have needed to use a lightsaber for a while, so his skills might have been rusty too.
Yeah, because look how old Obi-Wan was then, right?
Yeah. It was only 8 years after.
But just even the episode before, just seeing Vader when he took those 2 lightsabers from Reva, I was like, damn, that was a good lightsaber battle in itself,
Yeah, absolutely.
That was really cool. Also, that moment when he was like, have you come to kill me? And he was like, I will do what I must. Which is awesome throwback to to the show. But then when Obi-Wan gets into like his pose and he does like, oh yeah,
that was classic.
It's like such a nerd sitting on the couch.
Sean Tracy says, I feel like the show was originally written as a movie. There are chunks where the flow is on point and then the pacing will shift for 10 to 20 minutes before getting back on track again. Which I could kind of feel that a little bit. But Brandon. Let's talk about it.
I loved this. I know that I was gushing about Obi-Wan last time we did this. I think that's beautiful from front to back. First episode to the last. I love just about every minute of it. On a technical level, I think this thing has quite a few rough edges. For me, this show, I'm going to start off with the negative stuff first. For me, this show showed the limits of the stagecraft. Stagecraft, if you don't know, that's kind of that big room that they film. Everything in. The scenes at night when they're out on Tatooine, I thought looked bad. The lighting on them did not make sense. It didn't flow with the lighting of the environment. And that's just because of how the stagecraft works. I just remember when they had that really wide out shot that I think would have looked beautiful had they'd actually filmed it in Tunisia, which, I mean, where's the budget? Just kidding. I know the show was, we just found out that this show actually had one of the lowest budgets of any MCU or Star Wars project ever. It was like 90 million,
which is insane to me.
Why?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, they, like, at one point, the shot, which I think would have looked really beautiful anywhere else, actually, I was like, am I going to be able to see the top of the stagecraft here? Like, am I going to be able to see this? It felt artificial to me. On the positives, this show just gets Star Wars.
Yeah.
This show gets storytelling. This show gets Obi-Wan as a character. I know that a lot of people went into this series. I say series because I don't think we have an official confirmation for season 2 yet. I have thoughts on a season 2, but a lot of people went into this wanting to see Vader, Obi-Wan for 6 episodes. You know, a clash here, a little cat and mouse, another clash, cat and mouse, clash, cat and mouse. I started this show off saying, give me 6 episodes of Obi-Wan sitting in a cave, like having this like astral plane, like vision of everything and having to deal through his trauma. And I got that, but in a way that I didn't expect. The Obi-Wan Leia stuff, gorgeous.
I love that
I could not help but, and I think I said this last time, so one of my daughters, her middle name is Leia. We named her after her. And she and Leia on the show have so many similarities. It's impossible for me to not look at her and think of my own daughter. She just is Leia to me now on this 10-year-old Leia. And the lightsaber duel was excellent between the two of them. However, and so I, for Cinemast, wrote a piece of the 25 best lightsaber duels ever, and I ranked all of them 1 through 25. And I got a lot of flack because I put almost all of the prequel fights at the bottom of my rankings, except for I had Duel of the Fates, I think at number 3, and I think I had might have been 4, and I had Obi-Wan and Anakin from episode 3 at like 11. It missed the top 10. I got a lot of flack for that. Here's my problem with those fights, that I think this fight between the two of them did so well, is that this fight told a story, and it had a ton of thematic and story weight that a lot of those other fights didn't have. I mean, tell me, Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Count Dooku means nothing, right? Story-wise, theme-wise, it means nothing. Yet that fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin meant so much. And that the two of them, they're fighting. We got to see Obi-Wan at full force, Vader at full force. I mean, the stuff that was happening in that fight was just bonkers. I mean, my poor wife, I'm just sitting on the couch yelling, oh my gosh. Like, I was just like loving it. But for me, the best part of the entire thing was when Obi-Wan was losing. And we got this moment of all of Vader and Anakin's evil things running through his head. And then it flips to him thinking about the twins. Now, I might get some flack for this, but there's a quote from Rose Tico that hits this right on the head and shows why Rose gets Star Wars better than most fans.
Yeah.
And that is that we don't win by fighting what we hate, by protecting what we love. And when Obi-Wan was fighting against Anakin, he was losing. When he was fighting against Vader, he was losing. But when he was protecting Luke and Leia by fighting Vader, that's when he won. That's when he was able to get the strength through the Force to push those boulders off of him and continue that fight and just dominate Vader. Because before he was fighting Vader, and now he was protecting the twins. I think it's beautiful storytelling. And like I said, like that fight told the story. So I just adored that. And then one last point I want to make is that I think it had the best this fixed so many like a handful of canonical issues that don't really matter in the long run. Like the Anakin, Christian, you mentioned this, I think the way that Obi-Wan explains Anakin to Luke in A New Hope, right? That, Darth Vader, a pupil of mine before he was turned to the dark side, he betrayed and murdered your father. That makes sense now. Like it makes sense that that's the way he would say it, because to Anakin, or to Darth Vader, Anakin is dead. To Obi-Wan, Anakin is dead, and Vader is the one that killed him. But I think my favorite thing that it fixed canonically is the thing that people said it broke, which is the message from Leia to Obi-Wan in the beginning of A New Hope. That yes, she in that addresses him as General Kenobi. If I'm remembering, I believe she says General Kenobi years ago. And so it's a very formal introduction of herself and to him, because he says no one can know about us. But what this makes, I think, and I got emotional talking about this with my wife, is that her plea at the end of "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope," is her saying, "Forget all the stuff. Like this is my plea to you. You saved me once, you can save me again." And she's ignoring basically his warning at that point, and she's showing him just how serious this actually is. And I got goosebumps thinking about it. It's I love that stuff. So anyway, I liked it a little. So I thought it was great.
Yeah, the Leia stuff, especially at the end when he was like, you asked me before if I knew your parents, and then he like, dude. Oh god, that was so great. Like I really love that at the end, especially her like getting ready, and then like you see her with her little holster, and she's got the gloves, and she's got it's so cute. It was
like every Leia thing, I got choked up through the rest of the episode. Like everything. I also thought it was so funny that when Obi-Wan steps off the ship and Lola pops out, she runs to Lola first. That cracked me up.
Yeah, that was great. I really liked it. And again, it's kind of the same way I felt with like Miss Marvel. I'm having fun with the Marvel universe again. Like Obi-Wan made me just fall in love with Star Wars again, as weird as it sounds. Like it, I've fallen out of it for a little bit. It hasn't been at the top of my list lately.
Have you thought about the animated series?
Yes, I have.
Kevin, have you watched the animated stuff? Like
I've watched a lot of it. I haven't watched all of it, like not straight.
Have you watched Rebels?
I haven't watched Rebels yet. No.
Oh,
so
Rebels
I know
is God tier.
Rebels is good.
Yeah, I know.
Rebels
I
is God tier Star Wars.
I know I need to watch
Not
those.
quite.
But as far as live action goes, I think Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of brought me back down. Other than, and I mean this with no, like, I'm not trying to, start drama or whatever, but since The Last Jedi, like, I haven't felt like this passionate about a Star Wars thing.
Really?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, no, I legitimately haven't been so, like, involved and invested with something Star Wars since The Last Jedi.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, seriously, because I felt like you said, I do feel like Rose, she got what Star Wars is. Like, she understands what Star Wars is. And I felt like Rian Johnson knows what Star Wars is.
Oh my gosh, the gospel. Preach.
No, and I feel like, J.J. Abrams did, he did with Force Awakens. But it's a corporate job, right? Like, I felt like it was very, like we talked a little bit before. I mean, I don't mean to be like, talking down to JJ or anything, but and this brought me back to that, and this really, really made me love Star Wars again. I thought that the Anakin stuff, the Vader stuff at the end was it's iconic, right? I feel like that's going to be talked about for a long time to come. It's gonna be like the prequels, right? Like suddenly we have this new kind of view on the prequels. I feel like this is going to have that effect 20 years from now. People are going to think of, when they talk about iconic Star Wars moments, that scene with him and Obi-Wan and the mask cracked.
Right.
That's going to go down, right? Like it was an amazing scene, emotional scene. And it even, I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, but I'm a big Star Wars fan. And that moment was just, it felt like something new and fresh. And like, man, like, even though it was these characters we knew, but like, I didn't know that, I didn't know that happened. I didn't think about that. And it was just a really, really great finale to the whole thing. I thought the little girl, I forget her name, as Leia, like she's like, she was fantastic. Like I see her, she becomes Princess Leia. Like you can see that little girl growing up to be General,
Her little
Ortega,
face, her little face standing
She's
there with her holster
adorable,
and
dude.
gloves on. Oh my gosh.
Like she's just outstanding. And she's a really good actress too. Like for being, well, I don't know how old she is, 9, 10, I don't real life, whatever. But I think she held her own against, Ewan McGregor, against Reva, that scene where she's interrogating her in that room.
Yeah.
Like she held her own for a while until she kind of broke down after a little bit. But even that scene was just really, really well done. Like she's just going to be an incredible
she
star
got into
someday.
she definitely got into a rhythm, to
She
start.
did.
There were a couple of deliveries where I go,
Yeah, same.
but I mean, it's Star Wars. There's plenty of bad deliveries.
Exactly.
I mean,
And I thought that
you guys ever heard of Hayden Christensen?
Exactly.
It's 2 whole movies of bad deliveries.
And I really liked, and I'm a big, this was just kind of a little plus for me. I love Kumail Nanjiani. I think he's great. I thought he was really fun in this show. I thought he, little part, I thought he did.
He had a great moment in that finale too,
where he did,
where he says to Obi-Wan, like, I don't know how good the word of the liar and a cheat is to you or whatever.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan tells him it's good enough, and it cuts back to his face, and he has this look where you go, he's never going to do any of that stuff ever again.
Right.
Like that moment of like Obi-Wan saying, hey, you're good enough for me, man. Is enough to change the course of that guy's life.
Yeah. And that's beautiful. Eli, what did you think about it? Like,
I thought it was pretty good. They could have done more with the Inquisitors. They were pretty useless in the show. They didn't really do a whole lot, even though they're pretty much the main antagonists of the series.
I have to think that they're going to bring the Inquisitors that we didn't get a ton of back. I mean, to cast Sung Kang as an Inquisitor is quite the casting. So I assume, and Rupert Friend as Grand Inquisitor, like I have to imagine we'll be getting those characters again.
Yeah. And even speaking of the Inquisitors real quick, like again, I thought that Moses Ingram did an incredible job. Like she did.
Especially at the end,
especially at the end when she had that kind of change of,
her finale episode, she nailed that thing.
She did 100%. But anyway, so you liked it, you thought it was okay, yes. Just wasn't.
Yeah, the Inquisitors could have been better, as I said. I was really hoping that, like, some sources were saying that we were going to get, like, prequel style fights back. We got somewhat of that back. We didn't really get it, though. Like, the last fight between Anakin and Vader, that was a prequel fight.
They are both, 10 years older. I can't fight the same way I would have fought 10 years ago.
No, absolutely. Same. Very cool. So, let's give it a score out of 5, man. Like, let's pretend it's the movie, the series, whatever. Like, what would you rank it out of 5? Out of 5 pastrami nations, what would you guys give it?
Out of 5 pastrami sandwiches?
5 pastrami sandwiches. What would you give it?
I'm giving that 4 pastrami burgers and a big heart.
Okay, I like it. What about you, Jason?
Me? I'm gonna go ahead. I really loved it. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 5 out of 5. Just because as far as Star Wars goes, it kind of touched on all cylinders for me, and just kind of sealed the deal.
Absolutely, very cool. Christian,
I'm gonna go 4. I'm gonna go 4 big, juicy, oily pastrami sandwiches. It was really good, especially the way it all kind of came together. I was really happy, and I'm very excited for a season 2 whenever they decide to make it official.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would you give it out of 5?
I would give it a 4 out of 5 because we also got a first live action appearance of a clone trooper back during the first couple of episodes.
That's one thing I don't hear a lot about is the fact that we've always had them as CGI, and now we got actual people in armor, which is cool.
That's cool. Yeah, and I'm right there at a 4 as well. I think the stagecraft, right? That's what it's called. The whole thing. Yeah, I felt like that kind of did take me out of it a little bit at first. It did feel like a TV show. Like it felt like it was made for TV for a while. And again, we know why, low budget and everything. But I think that kind of took me out at first. But as soon as the story just really kind of started going, I was there 100%. So, but otherwise, I mean, the stagecraft stuff worked out. I mean, think overall it worked out pretty good.
For the most part, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, they use that thing like
Yeah.
so well.
So
I just
well.
feel like at night when lighting's already really difficult because you have to light characters, but you have to make it feel like it's night. And the way that it just didn't quite
absolutely
work for a couple of minutes.
Right.
And one thing I'm championing that they need to do with that technology. Now, listen, I know it's been a movie they've been trying to get off the ground forever, but do a BioShock movie using stagecraft. I feel like that's the way to do it. That's the only way you're gonna be able to get it made.
Just give me a BioShock movie. Period. I don't care
where
y'all film it.
But I feel like this will be a good way to do it. Like I feel like this, Gore Verbinski, you try to get his done, but he wanted practical effects, but the studio was like, no, man, we can't do that. Too expensive.
Kevin, in your like dream world, who would you have direct the BioShock movie?
I honestly would be on board with Gore Verbinski, man.
Yeah.
Like I think Gore Verbinski would do really. I thought he did. His Pirates movies were my favorite Pirates movie, especially the first one. I feel like he can handle that. He underwater environment. He does really well. That kind of mix of horror. I don't know if he'd lean as much into the horror as I'd want him to, even though he has before. And obviously things like The Ring and stuff like that.
What about the Aquaman director and the Insidious?
James Wan?
Yeah.
I mean,
James Wan is probably the only horror director that could get the budget to make a BioShock.
I think that one might actually work. Actually,
Didn't he also do Aquaman too?
So that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
there you go.
Let's get James Wan. Or just team them up. Someone produce. James Wan produce a Gore Verbinski directed BioShock movie. Now, if we're talking BioShock Infinite, that'd be a totally different story.
Yeah.
But the real question is, who'd play Big Daddy and Little Sister?
Well, I think my director pick would be Alexander Aja, who did Evil Dead remake, who did Crawl. We're not going to talk about his disgustingly terrible Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh gosh,
but
it just came out.
I think that he's got the I like Blomkamp.
Mm-hmm.
Blomkamp's a good pick. The problem is that guy can't get a project off the ground to save his life anymore.
I know, and it sucks. But I think, I think the first two BioShocks are the only ones you can turn into movies. I feel like if you even try Infinite, like Infinite's just kind of its own thing. Like,
that's the one I want to see the most.
That's the one I want to see.
That's the one I want to see as a movie the most. That's like a white whale.
Most, but I feel like that one's tough.
Hey, give that one to Kaczynski. Give that to Joseph Kaczynski. I think he could nail the visuals.
Did you watch his new movie, by the way, Spiderhead?
I haven't watched it yet. I've heard things.
Mixed stuff about it, but
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
I wanted to. Obi-Wan. I had two thoughts, and I had them, and then they escaped me.
Oh no.
Oh jeez. Oh, you know what? This finale gave me the idea for their next spinoff, which is Aunt Beru solo series where she's just a freaking guerrilla fighter because dude, she was about that business. Dude. She was like, bring them. Freaking Owen was ready to run, and she's like, shh, this is my house. I have to defend it.
Down with that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was half expecting her to set up a bunch of traps and stuff. I was ready for Beru McAllister.
She was a bounty hunter in her other life.
Yeah, no kidding.
Do you guys think we're going to see Reva return in the next?
Oh yeah.
If we,
I think so. Yeah, maybe
in
not
some
right
capacity.
away,
Yes, in some capacity.
I think it'll be more Luke focused in the next series.
You think?
We really didn't get a whole lot of them.
Yeah, I think season 2.
But the scene at the
focus
end.
It. Yeah, I think if you focus season 2 on Luke, you have him meet up with Obi-Wan, and then you have Leia get captured and she gets put on the Death Star, and then Luke and Obi-Wan go team up with Han Solo and Chewbacca, and they go rescue her. That's season 2.
I like it.
That's a great idea.
That's a
perfect sequel. Maybe they can make like 3 of them.
Lucasfilm, I'm here all week.
Probably prequels, maybe.
Yeah, I like that one. We could do a prequel. We should do 3 prequel movies about Anakin before he became Darth Vader.
How did he get
pretty
there?
clever there,
right?
Yeah. We all need to know.
He's a boy or something.
Yeah, who's this woman? Who's this mother of Leia that's so kind-hearted?
So
Yeah, there you go.
mysterious.
Yeah, who
How did they
is
meet?
she actually? Like,
Was there
I
like
got
an
a
age
question.
gap?
Is she?
Is there
Hey,
an
guys, I got a
uncomfortable
question
age gap
for you.
between them?
Now, before this fight, this awesome lightsaber fight, what would you say your favorite lightsaber battle was, like out of any Star Wars? You know,
What, Brandon? What was
Yeah,
your
I go
number one
first.
on your? Okay, yeah, okay.
Sure.
Favorite or
Go for it.
best?
your favorite.
Oh,
What's
my
your
favorite
Eli?
is easily Obi-Wan versus Maul in Twin Suns from Star Wars Rebels. That to me
yeah.
is the
What's
best.
Ooh.
Nice.
It's my all-time favorite.
My favorite would either have to be the fight between Ahsoka and Maul on Mandalore, or
Top 5 easy.
Obi-Wan and Maul in Phantom Menace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
For
Obi-Wan
me,
and
the best
Qui-Gon.
one is
Mhm.
Luke Vader. The best one is Luke Vader on Cloud
Empire.
City.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's like the
I-
most emotional one. Like, the,
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched the animated one, so I couldn't tell you. But I mean, for me, it would either be the Cloud City or it would Duel of the Fates, man. It hits every note. Like it's it's from probably one of my least favorite Star Wars movies, but
But the
But it's
thing that
worth it
keeps
for-
pulling him back
the
is
music and the all of it like just blends so well together.
if you can watch it edited down with like, now this is pod racing,
Right.
kind of take that out of it, then it's like so much better.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Well, cool. Well, did you guys have anything else to say about Obi-Wan? Sure, we'll bring it up in the future if need be.
I mean,
Well, if not, we do have a Pastrami Nation sandwich to give away to somebody, some lucky person in the comments.
Yeah,
Jason, you got the wheel.
Let me see. I got to make sure.
Cool.
Make sure I got all these names. Make sure I did this right. Hey, have you guys picked up anything new lately?
I have picked up.
Give me one
some new
second.
stuff.
Oh boy, before we
I-
get to the wheel, I got to see you guys'
I ordered this on Sideshow, and I'm getting this like 3 months later than everybody else. But this is the SH figure, or it's Deadpool.
yeah.
Now, this thing did not come with his guns, or I don't know. It's a weird thing that Marvel and DC are doing, that they're not including guns with certain figures. It's just weird because it's Deadpool. Also, this is an adult action figure. Like,
Yeah.
no kid is buying a $90 action
Right.
figure. So
Yeah, this is his
I had to.
little
I had to
set.
switch injury. That is awesome, Eli.
What is that? Oh, nice.
Bad
Bad
Batch,
Shuttle.
man.
Sweet.
Nice.
Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, and Crosshair, and Echo.
Yeah,
Nice.
pretty cool set.
Very
He made off with that somehow. I sold some pops. He got that somehow. I don't know. It worked.
I only
I-
have one of them in there right now, and it just so happens to be Tech.
Yeah,
That's
I did
sweet.
get the T-Rex breakout from the finally.
Hey,
Have
while
you
we're on
built it?
dinos,
Yeah, when
I've
I
been
got
What's that?
married,
I've been on a
Yeah.
little dinosaur mode myself. This is
Oh,
the,
nice.
the Hammond collection, the Jurassic Park series, which is basically like the Marvel Legend versions of the
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Jurassic
cool.
Parks. Like this is a super articulated Parasaurolophus because that's the dinosaur everybody thinks of when they think dinosaurs, right? And then while we're still keeping it dinos, I got this thing. It took forever to come. This thing is just freaking awesome. Like, let's see. There he
Oh
is.
wow, that's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
This is that
That's
crocodile that is like super fucking realistic, articulate. Like, look at
Oh my god,
it was
That's
money well
crazy.
spent.
that's
Like,
gorgeous.
just you had to see this thing in person just to see the size and the articulation. You know,
Wow.
like
That
I
is
mean,
cool.
look at this box that it came in. Like, shit, they
Mm-hmm.
went all out on this guy. This is like,
Revenge.
Yeah, what about it?
like he
That's
comes in a freaking
oh wow.
yeah.
Oh, it's
No
Bandai.
no regrets.
Oh, and by the way, guys, if you guys haven't played it yet, you guys need to check out the Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge.
Yes,
it's
I
so
did.
good,
Yeah.
man.
It's
It's
so much
so
fun.
So
good.
much fun.
so much
I
fun.
got it for the Switch. I'm loving it. Me and him have played it a few times, and it's God, I love it.
I
helped
tried
him
playing
beat
with my
a boss.
4-year-old. She's terrible, but it's
But that's the
really
fun
fun.
of it. Part of the fun of it, I feel like.
All I
Yeah.
do is just spam combos, and somehow
I'm just
find a way
like,
to
can
beat
you
them.
please just like follow me so I can move to the
Right,
next page?
exactly. Yeah, but it's great.
And that's why I know
so
I
yeah,
can play games with my sister.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
the physical-
I love that it feels like a continuation of the arcade.
Turtles in Time.
Yeah,
box. Like,
exactly.
like that. Every time I went to the arcade,
Oh,
that
that's
was
my
my
favorite
jam. That was my
collection.
favorite
Mhm.
one to play. So
Yeah.
it's really fun to get that
Mhm.
feel again on a console.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
So
same here.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Who do you guys
Jason's
play
got the
as?
wheel. Was that?
Who do you guys play as?
So I do Raph or Leo
This
generally.
is like the
Raph.
only place I can ask people who their favorite Ninja Turtle to play as is. So,
The play
Raph.
as
I go
has
as
to be
a
Raph or
Raph
Leo. I'm with
because
Kevin
he
on
has
that one.
max power. So
Yeah.
I always just go in, deal damage, get out.
Who do you guys
I-
play with?
It's Raph for me. That was the first person, but I played more with Leo than I played.
Yeah, I've been
with,
playing with Leo lately too.
Yeah,
yeah, I've been doing Raph and Splinter. Splinter's
So
special is really good. So
I
I've
might
been
have to
using.
try Splinter.
He just scratches like crazy.
That's cool.
But I think Raph has the best special in the game because
Yeah.
his spin is tornado.
His spin is
You can
awesome.
like move him around
yeah.
and like you just murder the Foot Clan soldiers the whole time.
Absolutely.
I
Dude,
know
it's
you
so much
unlock
fun.
Casey Jones at the end of the game.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
unlock
cool.
Casey. Yeah, so I kind of just want to get to the end of it. I haven't. Dana doesn't want to play with me, so I'm like kind of playing through it by myself. But
Well,
yeah,
what do you
no,
guys play
I'm
on?
loving it.
What do you guys
I have
play
it on our Xbox, the Series X.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll play with you, Christian. I got on Xbox.
There we
Game
go.
Pass.
There we go. By the way, I just scored myself finally after like how long a PS5 yesterday. So,
nice.
Oh, nice.
yeah, finally. Like, man,
Yeah.
thank you.
Things
Thank you.
are tough to find.
I had
You know,
lunch
you
with
can
some
always
old
help
friends.
a family in need.
Hey, I know. If you guys are looking for one, let me know. Because I told my friend we were having lunch and he was like, dude, you haven't got one yet? My brother's like bought and sold 5. And like while we were at lunch, he just texted his brother. And then I got home, his brother texted me. He was like disc or digital? Like and then he gave me like prices. They have bundles. $550 with the Horizon bundle.
not bad.
So
Not
You
bad.
do a disc drive or
yeah, I did disc drive. So
there you go.
yeah. So
Yeah,
Okay.
I use
Pretty
my
stoked. We'll
Xbox.
see.
I got the Series X. And I use it for not just games, but also for 4K. So
yeah, we use it for everything. Like we stream on it, everything else. So yeah, same. So,
Very cool. Cool. So
Pretty
let's you got the wheel ready, Jason?
Yeah, I got everyone on here.
Cool.
Let me see.
Awesome. For the Pastrami Nation sandwich.
Ew.
Arturo.
Congratulations,
almost got
Arturo.
robbed by Pablo.
Almost got intercepted there.
Well, great. Thank you guys so much. Arturo, just send over your information. Well, I know we can just send over your information to Pastrami Nation and we'll get that right over to you. So thank you guys for
Absolutely.
checking out the show today. Thank you guys for being on. That was a lot of fun.
Anytime.
Everyone be safe out there. Have a good weekend. I don't know what movies are coming out this weekend. Go check out Elvis. Go check out something. There's something new. Go check out Lightyear.
Yes.
I know Brand. I see Brandon over here with his Elvis. I know he's so excited to see it.
Oh boy.
I'm going to see it tomorrow night. So we'll have to
There's
see.
something else that comes out this weekend. Hold on, I'm looking at
Oh,
this
that's
because there's
cool. I
something
saw
else.
you post that. That's
Nice.
beautiful.
That's sweet.
But yeah. What else comes out this weekend? I know there's something.
There's
else.
another big release this weekend, I think.
Is
Let
there?
me see.
It's gosh, there's not a easy. Oh, the Black Phone. That's what it is.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I'm seeing that on Saturday.
Yeah, don't see Elvis. Go see the Black Phone.
Yeah.
Go see
And
Elvis
actually, a very
and the
funny
Black
story
Phone.
that there was an early screening over. I think it was Tuesday night or over the weekend. Did you hear about this?
No, but
Where someone
no.
crapped their pants in the theater.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
nice.
So at the jump scare, this guy tweeted the whole story, and a bunch of people confirmed it. So they're doing a
What?
screening, and yeah, they're doing a whole screening,
Oh no.
and the big jump scare in the movie happens, and they said right after that, someone farted super loud, and
They
then
sharded.
they sharted, and they got up and
This
ran
was
out
the
of the
Black
theater
Phone,
and
correct?
never
Not
came
Elvis.
back. It's the Black
Oh.
Phone.
Elvis. And
Oh
some chick.
man.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I don't doubt that they got so
I
scared
don't
they
either.
crapped themselves. And I'll say this because I love horror. I love horror. It's my favorite genre. There's only one horror movie I have ever screamed in, and it was Sinister
Mhm.
by Scott Derrickson, starring Ethan Hawke. So those two guys, man,
Yeah.
I
Wow.
don't doubt that I'll be
Wow.
pooping myself in
Yeah.
the Black Phone here soon this weekend.
Elvis has that effect on people.
Oh man.
All right,
Yeah,
you
you
guys
just die afterwards.
Thank you guys for coming. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Join us next week for a new episode of the Pastrami Nation Brick Therapy, and we will be talking to you guys then. Until then, have a weekend. Be safe and take care of each other.
Yeah,
Talk
don't
to you
eat
guys
your
later.
pastrami burger before you see the black phone.
Please get that.
Such
Parting words of advice.
Bye, guys.
Take care.